Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. Good morning.
Out of our Teen Sports listeners, I'm your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
Every single Tuesday.
this whole hour of Santa Barbara teen athletes. Woo! And we're talking all athletes. Good morning, everybody. This is Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. You've landed on AM 1290 or maybe 96.9 FM. News Press Radio. I'm so thankful to Eternity Ready Broadcasting, who is also now hosting our show. Now we're platformed on over 20 countries. So just more good news overall. We had a great week this week. Let's start off with a little gratitude this week. You want to start off?
I have a major gratitude. We had to purchase a new mattress. And Macy's delivered our mattress, and the deliverers were fantastic. They literally had booties on their shoes, and they laid out a red carpet. And I'm just so grateful at their kindness of bringing in and installing a new mattress.
Because when you get upsold on the white glove service, you're like, yeah, whatever. Okay, so you get a free mattress cover. Anything free, I get excited. I perk up. Okay, do you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh my God, free. Tell me more. And I'm not kidding. When the guys got here, it was the best, to talk about start the week, especially when you've been sleeping on a plank for 8 days. Okay. So it's kind of hard for me because, I'm a bigger girl. All right. So sleeping on a board, I've only had one thing that I could relate that to, but we won't talk about that on this show. Okay. But it was really hard. All right.
It was a little glamping.
It was really glamping. And I don't do that. Like my life. I like room service. That's kind of like how I like to roll. All right. Just to be honest. And I'm so thankful that I got to sleep on that board. And then when I got the matches, oh my God. But when the guys come here and it was just, I felt like I was the queen, and how fitting, the Queen of Teen, right? So they literally throw this red carpet out and it's like 10 feet and it's from the base of the truck. And then out comes your California King mattress. I bowed. Okay. I was so excited to get this thing. So I want to thank the guys. And if Macy's wasn't in your house to look for getting a mattress, check it out. Because I went up and down the city looking for mattresses, and Macy's was the place. And I would have never thought about it. And I've got to thank your mom, Vera, because she was the woman, and made that all happen. So, yeah, thank you, guys.
And thank you to all the delivery people that bring things to everyone.
Yeah, it's got to be really hard right now.
Yeah, really
Definitely. Appreciate them. Yeah. Yeah, but the booties and the mask and put the little hat on. And I'm telling you, that I will go to bed in my new bed thinking of rolling out that red carpet. So anyway, Ed, what's going on with you? Have any gratitude this week? We got a full house here today.
Well, since I was out of the country for the entire month of May, my thoughts immediately went to my experiences in Paris. And there were some people in Paris who spoke English that helped us out and went the extra mile. They would go for days on a topic that we needed help with, locating friends. And then when we left, getting a taxi cab to pick you up at a specific place, you got to be able to pull some strings. And one of the fellows at a restaurant that spoke English helped me with that and told me how to go about getting a taxi to come pick you up at 8:00 in the morning to go to the airport.
They don't have Uber.
Yeah, they do, but we don't have. I have Lyft. I'm not a member of Uber, and so I went to looking for the guy that I knew that spoke English and that had helped us, and actually hooked up with one of his coworkers who did the same thing. And he said, "The way you do it," he says, "go to are there any hotels near you?" So, yeah, there's one that I actually stayed at our first night there. He said, go to the hotel. They all are members of a cab company and they can get a cab. And they did the same thing. I went there and it had been a month since we'd been at this hotel. Oh, yes, we remember you. We'll get a cab here. What time do you want it? 8:00 the next morning, there was a cab waiting for us in front of that hotel. So nice. They may not hear that shout out that I'm about to give, but
you never know.
I would give it to is some
energetically.
Yeah, we're all connected, Ed. They feel it. They feel it. Good one. Anthony Rodriguez is with us in the house. He also has a guest he's going to be bringing on that we're going to interview later on in the show. What do you have to be grateful for this week?
Actually, I am grateful for my guest to be here. Stephanie, I'm really grateful that you are here, and we're going to be sharing some stuff. And I'm also grateful to Goodland Barbecue. Goodland Barbecue has some amazing food. They're at 5725 Hollister Avenue, and I just want to say thank you so much for the awesome food that you gave us the other day. So go check them out. It's really good. I'm very picky. I'm like a little kid, but I actually really finished my food over there. So you got to know it's good. So
we're going. You like it, I like it, Anthony.
Goodland Barbecue, yeah, absolutely.
We like the same things. All right. Don Sanders is in the house. How you doing, Don?
I'm well, thanks. DonsMassageOhio.com. And I am very grateful for these mornings of cloud cover that we've been having up here. It may differ there in Santa Barbara, but we're coming into the really hot, dry time of the year here in Ojai, and waking up early and sitting and just feeling delicious fog kiss your skin. It's cool. You can't see through it. It's rare and it's wonderful to know that there's still moisture in the air when you need it.
Nice. The June gloom is a welcome.
Definitely.
I never use that gloom expression. I think it's wonderful.
Nice. All right, Christine Marie, how you doing today, Christine?
I'm doing really great, thank you. I have to say how grateful I am. Funnily enough, what comes to me is for the employees at the local coffee shop just around the corner, the Daily Grind. And their employees have been there for at least 20, if not more years. And they're so friendly and they're so kind. And I can't believe I can't remember their names, but every time they see me and I see them, we see each other. And it's so nice to have continually see people and be seen in such a good way. It feels really good. So I'm really grateful for those people who stick around and stay in places and are, anchored in ways that I don't think I've ever been in my life. I've come and gone in these years, so it's really nice.
Yeah, it's a great place. I used to, when I worked downtown, that was my daily stop for sure. Nice. Yeah. Richard Dugan, our producer, what say you? Give me some love, baby.
I would like to send out gratitude to the two people who are not only good friends, but they're also working on the property where we live to clean it up, which is fantastic. It's been 16 years, and they're there, Steve and Sura. Sura happens to be the daughter of the landlord, who has since passed on, who is there as well, and we're just grateful for them and for their friendship. It's really been very nice to connect with them, like-minded people as well, and anytime they need something from us, I don't have any problem complaining. Could you move your truck to the other side of this thing here so we can get through? No problem. Want me to leave it there and park there from now until you guys finish? Yeah, if you wouldn't mind. No problem. And the same thing here when we have, an issue, or do you mind if we go through this area of your little area where you live to do this, that, or the other thing? And of course, I always say yes because, well, they're doing it. They have a job to do. But we're accommodating of one another, and it's just a really nice, friendly relationship. So to Steve and Sura, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Nice. I love starting off the show, 12 years now, with gratitude, or ending the show with gratitude. And I learned a lot of this. We started this just watching my partner here, Dominique Hackett. Every morning when she wakes up and before she goes to bed, she journals, and she just always write, not to be nosy. And I was like, what are you writing? Because sometimes she'll throw out these things, oh, I'm studying this or whatever. She goes all over the map, okay, because she's highly intelligent. But when she downloads gratitude and love and happy, it starts the day, it ends the day. I learned about gratitude through actually my partner Dominique was watching her journaling. And Dominique, what's the thing you're pulling out? And I recommend to everybody, especially it's a great connection to your child, to your teen athlete, to your grandparent, to your parent. What's the best part of your day? What are you looking forward to today? What are you most grateful for about today? And it starts the day and ends the day on positivity. And I think that's just really energetically is super important today.
Well, it's based on the theory that the things that you notice, you'll get more of them. So if you are noticing what you're grateful for day that way, and you notice it at the end of your day, you're just going to accumulate more and more things that you're grateful for.
Yeah, that's beautiful. It's beautiful. All right, let's do this. We've got a lot of new commercials that are lined up here. Thank you, Dr. D. And right after these messages, we have Ed Langlow with Only I've Known.
To put your black feet on the ground. When I said now, let me say it one more time, y'all. Now all you wanna do is ride around Sally. All you wanna do is ride around Sally. Mustang Sally. You better slow your Mustang.
We are back, and this is Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday,
9 a.m.
We are back. This is Ed Langlow with If Only I'd Known. If Only I'd Known is a mentor's moment with the teens with us remotely on Zoom, as well as those listening in on the radio. Today's segment is a perseverance lesson in the 1971 Dos Pueblos Chargers basketball game. In 1971, Dos Pueblos had only been around for 5 years and had never won a basketball championship of any kind. But on March 14th, Santa Barbara News Press writer John Zant gave this account. The Dos Pueblos Chargers were at the Los Angeles Sports Arena to take on the Bellflower Buccaneers in a 3A CIF championship matchup. DP didn't shoot well, but the Chargers completely dominated Bellflower with a tenacious defense. The Dos Pueblos coach was quoted in the paper saying, "Thank God we played well on defense." DP never trailed, and in the first 2.5 minutes, put 4 points on the board and never let the Buccaneers get off a shot. Zant made the quip on his article in the paper that Dos Pueblos defense pestered the Buccaneers like a bunch of insurance salesmen throughout the game. The Bucs were able to tie the game 5-5, but the 6'7" junior center, Bruce Cauldron, hit a 15-foot fall-away shot to put the Chargers ahead to stay. At the end of the first quarter, the score was Chargers 10, Buccaneers 7. Midway through the second period, it was 14-13 Dos Pueblos when the Chargers went on a 9-point tear and took a 23-13 lead to the locker room. Cauldron scored 8 of the 9 points in that streak, giving him 13 in the first half. He added 12 more in the second half to finish as the game's high scorer with 25 points. "I had to take some smelling salts at halftime," he said. "I got the flu earlier in the week." Can you imagine being arguably the best basketball player at DP the week before the CIF final game, you get the flu? But he obviously didn't feel that bad to wind up being the game's high scorer. But at halftime, he felt queasy enough to need to take smelling salts to get himself squared away. So that's perseverance in my book. The Chargers' Richard Stein garnered 10 points last night, putting him in double figures in 29 games of the season. It was like a dream at the beginning of the season, he said. Now, I can't believe we did it so easily. Bellflower had been a comeback team throughout the season, but in the third quarter, they could only shave their deficit by 1 point, leaving the score 30-21 in favor of DP. Bill Weinberg, Bellflower's lead scorer with a season average of 14.5, didn't make his first basket until there were only 4 minutes left in the game. In the final minute of the game, the Dos Pueblos fans started chanting, "We're number one." And they were. The final score was Dos Pueblos 49, Bellflower 40. For the first time since 1935, when Santa Barbara Dons beat Long Beach Poly at a local school, won a CIF title in basketball. Bruce Cauldron went on to play basketball for the University of Oregon Ducks. sadly, Bruce unexpectedly passed away last July in Fallbrook, Oregon, at the age of 67. I'm Ed Langlow. I'll see you next time on If Only I'd Known.
Nice.
Wow.
Thanks for giving us Where Are They Now? Okay. If Only I'd Known turned into Where Are They Now? Okay, I was wondering if he actually made it to the pros. No?
Fall Creek. I couldn't find that. I did a little research on Bruce. I didn't find that. And that's Fall Creek, Oregon, not Fallbrook. But he passed away, at 67 in Fall Creek, Oregon. I know he played for the Ducks. I don't know that he ever went pro. I believe he actually went into coaching. But I don't know if he ever played pro or not.
Well, it's like 1% get what they say. We talked about this once before with athletes, with our teen athletes. You got 1%. It's like a lottery ticket to get a scholarship.
Oh, yeah.
And then of all that bucket, hundreds of thousands of kids, it's a like 1% chance of going. Yes. And getting, drafted. Yeah. So, yeah.
Sports and music are both that way. It's a fun way to go, but you have to consider the odds. And if you want to be a professional athlete or a professional musician, you need a backup for that.
Well, and then look at the opportunities too, because you have the world now. You could play in Hong Kong, you could play in China, you could play in Italy. Europe. Yeah. So if you're that didn't get picked up and you still have it in your dreams, wheelhouse, there's more opportunities today for sure.
Oh yeah, go for it, but just have a backup plan.
So, quick question, Ed. This is Dominic Hackett. Where are you finding all these delicious stories? Are you finding them in yearbooks, or what's your reference?
This particular story, I have a book that is a history book put together by the Santa Barbara News Press. It's a huge book. It's probably 18 inches wide and 20 inches tall. And so I went through it and I found that article by John Zant and put things together, did a little research, but I have to look everywhere. I've been looking at newspaper articles, yearbooks, that newspaper's own book, Santa Barbara News Press book. I've gone everywhere digging up. I go on the internet. Once I get a story, I Google the name or the game or the school, and been able to dig up a lot of information. It's just, it takes time and dedication. It takes me days sometimes to come up with all the statistics to put a show together. But
beautiful.
Well, I just want to give a shout out to teens. If you have not considered taking a class in yearbook, please consider that for your next year at high school. I did a semester of being on the yearbook staff, and it is great fun. And it's really enjoyable to look back when you get older and know that you participated in bringing together those really fun moments, because your experiences in high school, there's something hopefully that everyone is being able to treasure. And we want to encourage teens, especially teen athletes, keep those write-ups about your different wins and so forth. You will really enjoy them in years to come.
Yeah.
Yes, and we need that for our future Ed Langlow historians.
It's a good life's lesson as well. If you're on the yearbook committee, it's a good life's lesson. Here's what it takes to do these kinds of things. And
nice. All right, so let's do this. We've got a minute, but let's go to just take a short break right now. We've got Anthony Rodriguez and his guest, Stephanie Forrester. Let's get to that. We'll give it a little bit of extra time here. We'll be back with more after these messages.
And this is Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday,
9 a.m.
Hey everybody, this is Anthony Rodriguez, and today we have a special guest, Stephanie Forrester, who will be speaking about her son. And and with this story is in hopes to save other lives. And, I don't want to take too much of it. So, Stephanie, please share me your story.
My name is Stephanie Forrester, and I lost my son, Justin, almost 3 months ago. He was my only child. I raised him by myself. He brought a lot of joy in my life, and I was thrilled to be his mother. And this loss has taken a lot from me. I'll never see him flourish. I'll never see his future. I'll never see if he has grandchildren or anything like that. So it's fentanyl that is a really rapid killing drug. 2 years ago, my son shattered his ankle, and he had surgery, and he had 7 plates put in his ankle. He was sent home with Vicodin and Narco.
And that's really common. That's what's usually given when you have a lot of pain. You get Vicodin.
Yes, and it was during COVID, and since he was over 18, I had no control, finding out what he was taking. Nonetheless, the boredom leaded into experiencing using other drugs. A couple of years ago, I was on my way to work, and I peeked in his room, which I never do because he's adult like that. And I went into his room, and he was clammy. His lips were purple. He was sweating, and he was basically unconscious. He spent a few nights.
So those are the signs of overdose, right? You
right.
recognize.
Oh yeah. So he spent a few nights in ICU, and then we struggled a lot. He was doing good for a while, and he wouldn't do good, and the drug is so powerless. It just makes you. Nobody should have to develop that craving that it gives you, and nobody should not know enough about it to understand how strong it is. I mean, we've lost so many kids from this horrific disease or opiate crisis, or I call it a war. I have I spent, prior to this first overdose, a lot of time researching it. I studied on Snapchat, his Snapchat. I was able to log into his telephone, and I learned to pick up the platforms, the names, the M30s, the China girls, all the lingo that they used. And
can I jump in for 1 second? Just to let parents know, the DEA, which is responsible for, finding the drug traffickers in our country, they have issued memorandums. These are unclassified documents that give parents the code names for all these various drugs, including code emojis and so forth. So if parents, and teens too, if you're worried about your friend and you want more information, there is information on the internet to understand some of these code words. I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead, Stephanie.
No, you're absolutely correct. I didn't know that Snapchat had already knew about this platform 2 years ago. Unfortunately, I had to learn it on my own. 2 years I couldn't sleep. I would stay up all night till I knew he came home. I would, try to do as much as I could to find out more and more and more about it. I was literally powerless. And that's when that's when I really kicked in with a lot of different things. And prior to his death, he was doing really, really well. And so, it takes just one time of relapsing. It takes actually one time of even doing it, and you're gone. And anybody, it could happen to anybody. And that's what I really want to talk about, is it can happen to anybody right now.
So that's the really important thing that we are so blessed to have you on Teen Sports Radio, that we're trying to communicate to teens and to parents. We did not know this before talking with you and watching the KTY TV interview with you, that these drugs are getting manufactured in China, Mexico, other places. They look like they're pharmaceuticals, but they're not. So we don't even know the substances that are in them, but they are obviously laced with enough potency of fentanyl to just kill you. So this is something new. Our generation did not experience this as I was growing up, but we were trying to get the message out to teens and to parents that this is a different situation than we've ever experienced before.
And another thing is what I didn't realize until we had our conversation is that the recovery is almost impossible. And you pretty much almost have to be sedated because the chemical is so strong that the only real recovery is to go back on the chemical. And like you had talked about last night, is that these people that are encouraging our kids to continue, it's just constant. It's just constant, because they know that they got you.
One use and you could be hooked, and it happens to anyone. Anthony, do you want to jump in for a second and maybe give us some hotline numbers, and also Christine Marie?
Yeah, so, I usually get the reports from the coroner, about suicides. And just this year, or actually last year, I began to get the reports on overdose deaths. And it's unfathomable of how many people have died because of fentanyl. And, we had over 160 deaths due to overdoses, and close to 100 were because of fentanyl. And that is an alarming rate. I mean, that's just unfathomable. And that's just only in a year. And due for this year, 2022, I haven't even gotten a report because they're so behind due to all the deaths that have been happening. We haven't even had a report on that yet, not even on the suicide report. And I used to get those every couple of months. And that says a lot. And I'm very grateful for Stephanie's strength to be able to be on, to talk about this, because if we don't talk about it, we won't be able to save any lives. And anybody that, I think everyone should really get educated on the statistics, on what you can do to prevent it. Parents, I think they need to get a lot more involved in understanding and learning about certain things that can harm. And even adults, because I'm looking at the ages, and the age range of the deaths are all over the place. And people are not understanding that just because you purchase from a dealer once doesn't mean that it's going to be the same exact thing.
And the fact that so many people don't realize that they're taking fentanyl, it's laced in the drug. That's what scares me the most. They don't even realize they're taking it.
It's laced, and it's I do work for the Department of Behavioral Wellness, and our division chief of ADP, John Doyle, has let us know that we are really in one of the worst due to this fentanyl, and that it's laced, and people don't even know that they're taking it. And it is such a small amount. I want you all to know that there is a campaign that is called Fentanyl is Forever. And you can, if you go to www.fentanylisforever.org, FENTANYLISFOREVER.org, there is a link there. You can get naloxone, which will help. It's an instantaneous. It can stop an overdose. It also has some another link about where you can find help, and where there's more information and treatment services, and where you can find naloxone. So it is known that this is just a huge thing right now. And thank you so much, Stephanie. The word definitely does need to get out. I don't know if she's still with us. Oh, yes, she is. There you are.
Yes,
So you're doing wonderful. I'm so sorry for what happened to your son. And it's so wonderful that you've just taken it up and you're going to, make sure more people know about it, because it's an epidemic right now.
Right. And one thing that I'm grateful for here at the food bank is that we have Narcan in all of our vehicles and all our trucks. And we've trained our staff on how to use it.
And Narcan is naloxone. So just so you know, when I said naloxone, that is Narcan. So it is the same thing. And you can I know Pacific Pride has it. I know that there are a lot of places that have Narcan. And it's probably a good thing for almost anybody to have on hand, with the fact that things are being laced with it that people don't even realize.
Correct. I agree. I totally agree.
So you're saying then all the schools have it? Is that what we're saying?
They should.
But we don't know.
We don't know yet, no.
Because I'm in touch with a lot of kids in schools and coaching, and this has we've never talked about this. So, to be such an opioid epidemic, especially since it starts off with pain, injuries, pain management, it's just something like you said, when you're camouflaging these pills, what I don't understand is, if you're selling it and you get caught with fake drugs that have any speck of fake, we sent people to jail for weed for 20 years, all right? Back in our day growing up. So this, can kill a horse, all right? And it doesn't make any sense. The crime is so bad, wiping out our young kids. The time isn't reflective to the crime. Stephanie, what are your thoughts on this?
it's really frustrating because, we don't have any form of education in any one of the schools regarding this at all. I know that you can get Narcan on a website and they send it to you free. I know you can go to any pharmacy, the one Bonds, Montecito, CVS, and the pharmacist will actually write that prescription for you and give it to you. The awareness is we are lacking in it. Really, I don't understand it. I just can't believe that that's not part of a class that we have. I mean, I've talked with the fire department, I've talked with everybody, and I did find somebody that maybe we can collaborate and go in and talk about fentanyl, but it's just, what are the stats aren't going to really affect the kid unless they really know about it more. And, I'm sorry, it just dumbfounds me that I have to talk about Justin in the past. Like, he's past now, so it's always he was, and I just don't understand why it's taken us so long and why we have all these red tapes when we should be educating.
Stephanie, we were talking to you about the mudslide in Montecito and about how the whole community came together to rescue Montecito from the mudslide. And what we're in Teen Sports Radio, we're trying to put out the call to everyone that this is even worse than the mudslide. We have a serious epidemic going on in our community, and we have to wake everyone up that people don't know what they're taking when they're just randomly taking things, and that there is a way to help, that parents can get a hold of this Narcan from the pharmacist, and we can do more to save lives.
So this is a nationwide epidemic. And really, please go to the website, fentanylisforever.org. You will find information on the epidemic, on what it is, on what's happening, and see other families that are being affected. Please go there. It will be very helpful.
Not to be transparent and not to ring the bell is wrong. And I know this city is probably one of the top 5 places in the world to live, but we are not. We have been infected. And it's up to us to get the word out, to share, to have communications. I'm telling you, it's not in the schools at all as much as it needs to be. We have Michael Baker as one of the co-hosts on Teen Sports Radio, CEO of Boys and Girls Clubs. We could start there. wherever there's kids, we need to have representatives to go out and just start some kind of series of lectures and education. People aren't necessarily going to go online. They need somebody like a Stephanie to go out there and share, who has suffered the greatest loss a parent could ever have, and share that.
Well, what do you call it? So I was talking to Stephanie last night and thinking about it and just pondering the way that maybe we can move something along. I already called the school district and some of the board members, and I'm going to try to see if there's something that we can do to have a program and be able to speak about this in the schools.
Great. Let's take we've got a lot more show. Okay, let's fill up some coffee. We'll be back with more after these messages.
Well, now together we will stand, every boy, girl, woman, and a man. Oh, yeah. Together we'll stand, divided we'll fall. Come on now, people, let's get on the ball and work together. Come on, let's work together. Now, people, because together we will stand, every boy, every girl, and a man.
We are back, and this is Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
Every single Tuesday.
9 a.m.
Hey everybody, this is Anthony Rodriguez again, and we're listening to Stephanie with a powerful message on fentanyl use. And I would like to continue that conversation. And Stephanie, please continue.
I just went to Montecito Union, and I know that, like during the mudslide, our community came together. We pulled resources out like there was no tomorrow. We had fundraisers. We really came together, and it's hard for me to not see that happening right now. But I do understand that people don't want to talk out about it because to them they feel shameful. It's a shameful drug and to people, and kids feel remorseful. They don't want to be it once they get addicted to it. They don't want to have to crave that drug. And it's the remorse in it. It's the frustration of how our intervention doesn't work the right way, because you have to get a child that's woken up the next day from partying and feels so remorseful. And that's when you have to do the capturing. Nobody wants to sit on the phone and wait for the call back for an intake. By then it's nighttime, and they're out again. It's just really, really hard. And so I'm basically here because if I can just affect one person, that's all I care about. One person, one step, one person, another step. And I'll never know who I've affected. I do know that after my son's funeral, there's 2 people that have stayed completely off of the fentanyl.
Yay!
I know, that's 2. And I don't know the others. The memorial had, over 500 people there. Justin was very, very well liked. He was a kind boy. I did over those 2 years and ever since his first overdose, I was so afraid to let go. My whole thought was, don't let go, don't let go. If I let go, I wouldn't see him. So that's what I say it can happen to anybody. So then I went, KUYT, I did an interview less than 2 weeks. After that, I got a call from Bill Brown. I joined Project Opiate and got up and spoke. And it's not an easy thing. And it just is what I feel needs to be done. And I don't feel any shame. Like I said, one step at a time, one day at a time, one person at a time. And
I don't mean to interrupt, Stephanie, but I am so grateful for you. And the memory that we need to keep alive of your son and all those who have died by this awful drug. You are going to make a difference, and I'm definitely willing to help push whatever I have to push and help you be that voice for all those who have passed away from this horrible drug. And I admire your strength, and I'm so sorry that you have to go through this, but you're turning it around and definitely doing it in the memory of your son, Justin, which he's lucky he had a mom like you. He's very lucky.
This is Dominique. Stephanie, thank you so much. And I want you to know I have 5 children, and as a parent, I spent many nights driving the streets, wondering where some of my children were. So I want parents to know this happens to every family. Doesn't matter rich, poor, where you are. This happens in every family. It's not something shameful. We have to come together as a community, embrace one another, and support one another.
Let's take a little break. This is Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. We'll be back with more after these messages.
Brazil. Back in the USSR. Way down in LA. Every day dancing in the street. Crossing China too. Me and you dancing in the street.
We are back, and this is Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday
at 9 a.m.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Richard Ellsworth with the Braille Institute and Mountain Sage Healing Arts. What I've really been thinking about through the course of this conversation is just about the availability of information that's out there and how we can really think about educating our teens and everybody, adults, people of all ages, about what's going on in the drug world and amongst youth in particular. And I really kind of think about my own school system when I was growing up in Connecticut, where we had specific requirements and we had state funding that was available for all of our high schools, where students that were enrolled in a physical education class had to be first aid and CPR certified. And in those classes, we learned about drug overdoses, how to handle those types of situations, how to administer naloxone, the frequency of when to administer doses. And we also got trained in our health classes in different types of drugs, the effects that those would have on our systems. And it was a requirement. You had to get a certain score on those exams to be able to pass out of that class, and you could not graduate high school without it. So it kind of makes me think about the potential for the California school systems to have systems in place like this to really spread awareness and just the potential that exists for being able to spread awareness.
Richard, that is so excellent information. Alex, do you have anything that you can add as well when you're working with your physical fitness clients and so forth?
Hi, Alex here, personal trainer for Fit for Life 805. Stephanie, I'm so sorry for your loss. Honestly, the biggest thing that, clients have used training to overcome addiction, but I think the biggest thing that really stood out that Stephanie said was that kids are shameful to come out and say that they're addicted to a drug. And society has put so much pressure on perfection. You need to look a certain way, be a certain way, get a certain GPA. And then if on top of that, if you tell your family that you're addicted to drugs, it kind of seems like it's an end all be all. But I think the parents should be open about it, talking about drugs, because I think if the parents lead by example, the kids will not be so afraid to come out and say, "Hey, Mom, I'm hooked. I need help. Like, this is really bothering me. I can't get off this." whether it's alcohol, fentanyl, anything. I mean, we shouldn't be ashamed to talk about anything, parents included. So hopefully parents and teens, you're listening, be open, talk about it. You may lose friends, but you will never lose your family. But stay strong, Stephanie. You're so brave.
Stephanie Foster, if you ever would like to come back or even be part of the show in any way, shape, or form, we would just love to have you. You're a wealth of information. You're the bravest woman I've ever met. We got to go. Hopefully that this information today you can share. All right. God bless everyone. See you next week.
Nothing's gonna ever bring you down. You're the best around. Nothing.